First tonight, the Target 12 investigators are following up on the voting machine mishap. The Rhode Island Board of Elections plans to create new protocols in the future for testing ballot machines.
And that's after the wrong names were displayed on the new express vote machines during early voting for voters who selected the Spanish ballot. And yesterday we learned of another problem, in the Providence mayoral candidate's name being misspelled.
Target 12 investigator Steph Machado just caught up with the executive director of the Board of Elections and joins us now with the interview. Steph?
Well, the private vendor that runs these machines has taken responsibility for uploading those 2018 candidate names, but neither the Board of Elections nor the Secretary of State's office will take responsibility for checking the accuracy of those names before the machines were sent to polling places. It was a Providence voter who saw Mayor Jorge Elorza's name on the new accessible express vote machine when voting in Spanish last week. Elorza isn't running for anything this year, so the voter alerted poll workers. In the end, the Board of Elections says 4 different primary races were affected and the machines have now been updated. Private vendor ES&S took responsibility for the error. Did anyone from the Board of Elections staff double check ES&S's work to see if the candidate names were correct?
We check the tabulation of these ballots. Our job under 1719-14B is that we make sure that the machines tabulate the ballots correctly. The names of the ballots are not checked by the Board of Elections.
Board of Elections Executive Director Bob Raposa says the Board of Elections accuracy tested conducted in August only checked that the machines were working properly, not that the names were right. Was anyone responsible for checking the candidate names on the screen to make sure they were correct?
Not. We are responsible for checking the tabulation.
So who was responsible for checking the names?
I have no comment on that.
Secretary of State Nellie Gorbea's office provides the candidate names to the private vendor. She says the Board of Elections was responsible for checking the vendor's work on the machines before sending them to polling places.
I was outraged by the mistakes that were admitted to by ES&S and the lack of oversight that the Board of Elections displayed over the work that was being done by a vendor.
The Board of Elections sent these machines off.
Run at this point.
But how do we solve this moving forward? Raposa did not want to talk to us further about the process after the Board of Elections met to discuss the problem Wednesday. That's where an ES&S employee, Joe Vitale, demonstrated how the express vote machine works and acknowledged his company didn't double check the names. He said they would do so in the future. And the Board of Elections did vote to create new protocols to check the accuracy of those names for the November election, which they said they will do in conjunction with the Secretary of State's office. And a spokesperson for Gorbea just told me they're pleased with the vote the board took and look forward to collaborating on this process. Live in Cranston with the Target 12 investigators, I'm Steph Machado, 12 News.